This is episode 80 of the Going Quantum podcast. This week I'll be kicking things off the dubstep mix before Coven takes over with their guest mix. Max and Kate's music video for More Than You dropped on UKF earlier this week, and the EP will be following Mark on Viper Recordings.
Go sub Going Quantum. Right. My friend Coin, I believe that's close to correct. I hope I've pronounced it correct. We've been talking about how the pins, the chainring balls that I use, how I mill the inside of the handle out just so they fit snugly. So this is a video primarily for him, or primarily for you if you watch it, just so you see how it works.
You're listening to the Going Quantum podcast.
Okay, so the way I do it is obviously the scale is just countersunk, so the female part of the chainring bolt drops in and protrudes through here. Now obviously that means it's going to go into the blade, so if it was just an 8mm hole it wouldn't work. So I use an end mill to then mill out almost all the way through the depth of the steel, which means that when that sits on there, that is a very good tolerant fit. There's a little bit of movement, but not a huge amount, which means that they self-locate and the scale goes back on in exactly the same place. Now the problem with that will be if I drilled 10mm all the way through, then the male side of the scale wouldn't self-align because there's so much movement. So that's only 8mm on that side, which means when the male parts go through the knife body or the tang, it doesn't move and self-locates. Really simple, quite tricky to do without very basic tools. I'm making one of the bushcraft knives for somebody, and it's taken me 3 attempts to get that milling right with the tools that I've got. Because the bearings are almost shot in the drill press. So what's happening is it's biting and not making perfectly 10mm holes. I'll show you. Once I've got these back on. Seriously guys, if you like dubstep, anything like that, go sub Going Quantum. Alright, there we go. Back on there, no messing around, straight on exactly the way it came off. And there's number 2, you can see it's exactly the same. And I've also got a bushcraft knife to do in here somewhere. There's the first attempt, and the mill, because the bearing's gone, the mill was chattering and moving, and it basically opened the hole right out. So that's going to end up with 13mm pins through. The second attempt I didn't finish cutting out because I didn't want to waste the time, but that will be the same. And the third attempt actually worked, but because this is thinner, I haven't got the depth, so the female side will go all the way through, and then what I'll do is I'll shorten the female side of the chainring bolt so it sits flush on there, so when you tighten it up it'll self-center, which is the easy way to do it, but that just makes it that little bit cooler, especially considering it's done by hand. There you go, my friend. It's not very exciting, but now you know.